I feel like holding on to this.
You holding on to the edge of the balcony in case
in case I fall back.
In case you fall off
into the endless pit of doom.
Fall off the balcony. Everything's going to fall over because this is on a box, and we're both got our feet on it.
I'm not pushing. I'm just holding it so it doesn't fall over. Actually,
you're holding it so it doesn't fall over.
I'm holding the box and the balcony so the balcony doesn't fall off.
I'm resting a lot of my weight on a cardboard box. I'm now resting both my feet on the cardboard box. Anyway, right, the whole point of live from the balcony is for us to be really dark so that you can't see us.
You can't see it, but I'm smiling.
And to have a nice, beautiful sky in the background. Beautiful sky in the background. Hey, sitting here, I can watch Madagascar through the window. And you can't.
I can't. I can watch the curtain.
You can see the curtain. I can watch Madagascar. How cool is that? The penguins. Anyway, the whole point is to have a discussion about things which might or might not be important for people. It's up to people to decide and to kind of knock the table over before we even... It's exciting.
Take your massive feet off it.
No comment. No comment about feet. No, absolutely no comment about feet. The whole point is to discuss things that are important to individual people, to families, to anyone who's out there who's listening. Anything related to education, life skills, homeschooling, education in general.
Life skills in general.
I said life skills. Cooking.
Cooking.
We're
going to talk about cooking today.
No, because I don't know anything about cooking.
You just said it because I'm a woman, right?
You could tell me anything about cooking, and I would just be like yes, because I have no culinary skills that would register on any scale whatsoever.
You have eating skills.
But anyway,
so okay.
The whole point is that when we do this, that people can type in. There should be a chat, right? Marcella, if you're watching, can you type in something into the chat so that we can actually see if the chat pops up, the chat window pops up, and maybe if anybody catches this, they can give us a thumbs up or a little heart sign, or people will be like looking at their tablets, going, "I don't know what to type. I can't have the screen on the oh my god." People can't use the technology as well as they should be. Thank you. See, thank you for the thumbs up. See, that's just super cool. So we know that the thumbs up works. It should be possible for people just to type in something on their screens. There should be a chat window. Where's the chat window gone?
I don't know.
I should know that.
I've never used it.
Oh, look at the bottom here. There's a magic wand which gives us hats and things.
Okay.
There's a reverse the camera so you can see the curtains if I press that.
Look.
There's a lightning symbol. I press that and lightning comes out of the sky and strikes you down. And I
press it.
I pressed it a couple of times and nothing happened. So it must be broken. Or I don't know what to do with it. You can add people to the conversation.
Okay.
Why I'm not, or you can send specific messages to people saying to them, "Hey, join in." And the last one, the speech bubble. I think if you press that one,
you get the chat window.
You get the chat window.
Oh, right.
And you can use your sort of one finger to go, "Hello." There is no sound or whatever.
You do have to write in that voice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's my writing voice. It's the voice I have in my head when I write things very slowly on my tablet with one finger.
Okay.
And the other... Oh, look! Someone's awake.
Oh, my God!
I'm pointing. Are you coming out? See what happens when you do live things.
Oh, my God.
Is that your kids wake up and...
Scream their heads off.
She's looking a bit... She's had a bit of an afternoon snooze. Hi, darling. Would you like a glass of water?
Hi.
Would you like a cuddle or something? What's
cuddle.
up?
Oh.
I could be all like, mind the microphone and stuff, but I know that
you're just screaming in your head. I know.
I'm screaming in my head about all the technical stuff, which is not. Why don't you sit down with her and? Can you sit down here with her?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, she looks quite comfortable.
I feel like the stool is not very stable, so I'm just going to
stand.
What do you
mean the stool is not very stable?
I'll know with a baby in my
arms. The stool is perfectly stable. Nothing's ever. I use it daily. Nothing's ever happened that's. Oh, look! The top comes off. Right, never mind. Never mind. I'm sure it's supposed to. Right. You can lean back on it, no? And,
yeah, I can.
Take the weight off.
It's okay. I don't mind the weight.
The weight.
The weight is okay. I'm strong.
I'm moving it back so that you can lean on it. Okay. Anyway. Jazzy's had a snooze, haven't you, Jazzy? So this has derailed the conversation, but that's okay because we can talk about kids and sleeping patterns.
Like Jasmine's sleeping pattern, which is not really a pattern.
She sleeps when she's tired.
Yeah.
Or when we're tired. Like we were at the pool today, and
Oh, Jazzy, would you like to go and watch the movie?
There's a movie on inside. Would you like to sit down with your brother and sister and watch that? How do you, if you're out there, how do you deal with your kids when they wake up from their snooze and they're not all sunshine and light? What do? Do you play games with them? Do you put a movie on or something for them to watch? Do you give them a piece of food?
Just cuddle.
Do you cuddle? Do you have that human contact? Do you give them a little bit of space? You talk to them in a funny voice.
Like that one in your head.
Like the one in my head. What do? You take them outside. We don't have a garden, so we can't go into the garden.
We can go on the balcony, though.
Which is like having a garden.
Jasmine
that's really
actually calls garden.
She calls the balcony the garden.
Yeah.
That's nice. I could do with a few more flowers, but
I'm probably causing a lot of rustle in the microphone.
Okay, somebody can actually write in the chat, so that's pretty cool. So if you've got any questions related to family, life, school, education, if you've got any advice for us on what we should do with Jazzy, who's 2.5 and has just woken up from her late afternoon snooze. She was tired. We went to the pool today and she splashed around a lot, and then the clouds came and it looked like it was going to rain, so we ran home.
Well, more wobbled than ran.
Ran home, yes.
Because we had her in our arms.
She fell asleep on my shoulders, which was kind of dangerous. Anyway, life without danger does not exist. There we go. So, oh look, there's a thumbs up. There's a hey with a thumbs up in the chat. That thumbs up looks like I can click it, but I'm scared. I'm scared if I press it that something weird is going to happen.
Press it.
Press it. Okay.
Life is full of danger. Press it.
You can now pin comments. Pin comments remain invisible. Tap a comment to see the. I've just pinned a comment.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Why do they remain invisible?
If you pin something, it doesn't move. Does that mean that comment's going to permanent? Can I unpin it? If I pin it, if I press it again, you have unpinned this comment. Oh look, there we go. Learn by doing, right? You can't learn to swim by reading a book, so.
So learn how to pin a comment by pinning a comment.
Well, do you notice Facebook is great because Facebook never gives you any instructions about how anything works. They just put stuff out there and people play with it and see what it does. Like there's never been any instructions like how to use Facebook. People are just like, hey, have you seen this thing? You can do stuff with it, and they're like, oh wow, that's cool, and then they use it. So men like me like things that don't have instructions because then you can't get blamed for breaking it when you press the wrong button. So
thankfully you can't break Facebook. Hopefully.
Unless you bankrupt it, which will probably happen in about 20 years. But then Mark Zuckerberg will own the world by that time.
Yeah.
So it won't make any difference, and he won't really care about it anyway. Do you know that Mark Zuckerberg called his original Facebook clients dumb effers because they posted all their personal information on Facebook. I can think of another dumb person who posts all this personal information on Facebook as well. But that's okay, because I think sharing is caring. So, there we go. Back to the point. Any idea? Is she okay?
I don't know. Jasmine, are you okay? She just wants to cuddle a lot.
She wants to go. She's
I wonder
hiding her face.
Hey, Jasmine, do you know what Zora did earlier today? She made a bowl full of muesli for you.
Muesli? She's not...
And it's waiting for you on the table.
The food thing's not going very well. The legs are going quite well, though. Just like, I'm going to kick everything.
I'm feeling like maybe I should take her somewhere.
Okay, you're gonna go away.
I'll go away, but I'll come back.
Please come. Don't leave me here alone. People don't want to listen to my commentary.
I'll be quick. Meanwhile, you can deal with all the boring stuff, and then I'll come for the fun stuff. Wait,
okay.
I'll take this off.
What is all the boring stuff? The boring stuff is all the technical stuff, right?
Yeah.
Technical stuff. Look. Yeah, if anyone else is interested in doing live chats like this, yeah, in the future, it's going to be able to. You can call us through Skype. Actually, I've got Skype installed on my tablet, and it's actually going to be possible for people to call me live and direct through Skype and to have the conversation. If people have any questions, we can have the conversation, and in real time, and that's just amazingly super cool. Now the sky is it's not raining. It's not raining, and there's a woman with an umbrella walking past. People are strange, right? You think I'm joking? I'm not joking. I'm not joking. It's never normal anymore. I'm going to show you. Hopefully this stand is quite secure, but look, it's not actually raining. It's not actually raining. And there's a woman with an umbrella walking past. It's that Doors song, isn't it? People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces seem ugly when you're... It's not raining at all. What is wrong with people? What is wrong with people? Somebody tell me that. Right. So I've got this Sony Xperia phone, and thank you for the thumbs up. Got the Sony Xperia phone, and got a 3-pin jack, and connected that to 2 sets of headphones. So it looks like this. There you go. This is all the technical stuff, and then you can have a conversation with 2 people, and the audio should be cool. Now, audio is much more important than video. That's why I don't care that I'm all dark and black here, because you can take the audio and you can do stuff with it later. If you've got bad video but good audio, then you've got a gold mine. If you've got bad audio with good video, you can't really do much with that. You can record over the top, but that's just more work for you. So why would anyone want to do that? So that's all the technical stuff. And these conversations from the balcony are designed to stimulate debate on the male-female perspective on all issues about relationships. Basically, it's everything to do with family, it's everything to do with connection, it's everything to do with finding solutions to problems, it's everything to do with getting on with life and moving forward. And so hopefully we will be able to solve some problems together and find solutions. So what was your solution to the I'm a little bit upset after waking up?
Well,
what did you do?
She saw Titi.
Excuse me?
In the movie, there's a big cat called Titi. She saw Titi and she was
this
like...
Madagascar film?
Yeah.
Okay, which is on.
And
through
then,
the window. Watching the kids.
And then I asked her if it's okay if I leave for a little while. And she said no.
Okay.
Because she wants muesli.
I thought she wanted the
So I
cat.
took her to the kitchen, and I gave her some muesli. And I said, after you finish your muesli, would you like to go and join the kids watching the movie? And she said, okay. So that's where I left.
Step by step. Step by step. Of
Yeah.
course, the muesli will be
Everywhere.
everywhere. Everywhere.
Yes,
But that's okay. Step by step.
But it will be thoroughly enjoyed.
Naturally. But we're going to have to do something about the muesli because the kids are eating too much muesli.
Well, I told them that the jar has been filled up, right?
It's a big
The
container.
big jar, yeah,
Yeah.
has been filled up, and I told them that's the last jar.
Filling.
Yeah.
And then
then we're going to have a
change of diet. Because they're
Sometime
addicted
without
to the
muesli.
muesli and they don't want to eat anything else and they always
I
say
think they
muesli.
like the fact that they can prepare it themselves.
It's not because there's like sugar involved in it. Or
There's some sugar, yeah, might be.
I don't know. So here's a question: is muesli a healthy breakfast for children to have?
Well, it depends on what you have, right? If you buy that pre-packed thing full of glucose, fructose syrup, and conservatives and whatever.
The ones with nice animals on the front to get the kids to go, "Mummy, buy that! It's got
No,
a..."
even the supposedly healthy stuff, right? Muesli
Well,
still has a lot of sugar and glucose syrup and other things in it that are not that super cool. But if you make your own, like I do, which basically contains only rolled oats and raisins,
yeah.
and the kids squeeze in
Actually,
a little bit of
I'll tell you a
maple
secret.
syrup.
Something freaks me out about the oats.
What freaks you out?
The label on it. It's like it's from a company called like MMCO or something.
Yes.
Yeah, and the label. The label looks like a chemical company.
Does it?
I know it's probably natural, but I see the label and I think that just looks like a chemical company.
No,
label.
Imco does muesli and cereals. Like
Because
breakfast
you think
cereals.
that they'd have a logo that was like a farm with a tractor and a sunshine in the background and things, and it's maybe it's a Slovak thing. I don't know.
Maybe it's a
just got
Slovak
that.
thing. Slovaks just don't have that business thing tweaked yet
No, well,
to
if they can.
perfection.
Well, so it's like the best you can get anyway, right? So
Probably.
you couldn't get more organic unless you went to the farm.
You could probably get more organic. I'm not sure if it is organic at all. Actually, I'm not sure, but you can get.
How can muesli not be organic? You mean it's like pesticides and chemicals in the process? Or I thought like muesli was naturally. I thought the oats were naturally sort of organic, or is that just like a misconception?
I think that's a misconception. I think you can pesticide oats as much as you can pesticide anything else. I don't know. But even the organic stuff is pesticized only to a
Certain level.
certain level. Yeah.
Okay.
So, there you
Right.
go.
So it's the breakfast cereal, it's the oats with the added raisins
Yes.
and
A squirt of syrup
maple syrup.
or a little bit of coconut sugar.
Maple syrup. I've never had maple syrup before, actually. I've never bought it. I've never used it. It's nice.
It's
It's a nice
okay.
alternative to sugar, but
Yeah.
again, I'm always worried that everything you buy in the supermarket is going to have some kind of weird chemical additive to it or something.
Well, supermarket is not the
Maple syrup comes
best
from...
option, but maple syrup comes from
Ma-
maple trees.
I was going to say maple trees, but then I was going to say like if
Shockingly, it comes from maple trees. Yes,
maple trees.
maple trees. Yeah.
How do you? Is it the syrup like the
Well, I imagine, I don't know this for sure, okay, but I imagine you get it from the trunk. No, I don't know. I haven't researched it, but I know about
when you drill into the
birch
trunk
trees,
and
right?
Birch trees.
Birch trees. When you drill into a birch tree,
We've moved.
especially in the spring, like in March, or April.
When you drill into a birch tree,
You drill a hole in a birch tree, in the trunk,
usually.
right? You stick in a straw. Yeah. Seriously. And then you leave a container underneath, but you have to secure it so that insects don't go in it, because they would like to. Then you get there's
Wait.
going to be
Okay, you drill into the tree. You put a straw into the tree.
yeah, and you're going to have
Hi,
water.
Anka. Give us a thumbs up.
You're going to have water coming out of the birch tree, down the straw, into your jar. And the water is super sweet and super healthy because it's got
from
a
a
lot
birch
of
tree.
nutrients. Yes.
How
from
come
a
you don't
birch
get
tree.
birch syrup then?
Because it's not syrup. It's just water. It's not as thick as a
sweet
syrup.
water.
It's like a sweet water, basically. Yeah. I imagine if you evaporated the water, you would get a thicker substance that would be like syrup. But
People wouldn't buy birch syrup though, because they don't know what it is.
I think you can actually buy birch sugar.
Birch sugar. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
So we don't need this chemical processed sugar stuff. We can use other stuff, right? We can use stuff from the trees.
I think you can use birch sugar. Yeah. Just like maple syrup. There you go.
Okay. Oh, that's kind of cool. You know, I've always associated it with Canada for some reason. Maple. It's the maple leaf.
Because they have a maple leaf.
on
Yeah,
the flag.
Canada would probably be the biggest producer of maple syrup. No,
Something like
I
that.
imagine.
Oh, you missed something when
Traditionally.
you went away. I have to tell you this.
What did I miss?
You missed. Is it raining?
I
No.
don't think so. No.
No, it's not raining. It's
No.
okay. Proof it. It's not raining, right? And this woman walked past with a big umbrella, and it hasn't been raining all day.
Well,
The sky's grey, but it hasn't been raining.
always ready. Be prepared.
Yeah, but who puts up an umbrella when it hasn't rained and it's not raining?
And it's probably not going to rain anytime soon.
Apart from Mary
soon.
Poppins.
Maybe it was Mary Poppins.
It wasn't. And I tilted the camera and as evidence that...
And,
that
and
that-
everybody commented that it's definitely not Mary Poppins.
One person gave a thumbs up. That's a success.
Good.
That's a success, right? So that's the breakfast thing. We've got the breakfast thing out of the way, and we're going to change the breakfast
Yes.
to.
Something
I'm
else.
putting you on the spot because we haven't talked about it.
Fruit, for example, is a good idea. Smoothies are a good idea for breakfast.
Except for me, because I don't like smoothies.
You
Because
can have a milkshake. You
'cause
like
smoothies
milkshakes.
it's the water. I just don't like it when there's water added to those kind of mixed drinks. If it's just like the fruit juice, I like that. Or if it's milk with banana or something
Well,
mixed
how
together,
about you
I
make
like
a
that.
smoothie with fruit juice instead of water then? You know? You mix because you can't just mix banana and drink it because it's like a thick mixture, right? That's why I put in water so that it's a bit liquid. But if you blend the banana and add, say, apple juice in it to make it drinkable, would that work?
Adding apple juice to a banana.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they do in the drinks anyway, isn't it? That's what they do with banana juice. Banana juice is like 70% apple juice.
I've never seen a banana juice. I don't think banana's juice. I think banana's just...
I guarantee you,
Go
if you go
through.
to Tesco and look at the big aisle of the supermarket of juices,
Yes.
you will find there banana juice. I've taken a picture of it and put it on my Facebook
Yeah,
page
but it's
before.
probably not going to be
It's called
freshly pressed banana juice. It's
No, 'cause
probably
you
made
can't,
out of
'cause you
dried
can't.
bananas, re-soaked in water, and then squeezed or
Yeah,
something
but the whole point is
similarly
called
horrible.
banana juice, but it's like 70% apple.
Yeah. Because it can be banana juice, because
That's like-
bananas
that's
don't
like-
juice. You can't. You
Well,
put,
it's like
you
having
put
a
a banana...
cow and calling it a sheep. Though.
You put a banana through juicer, and you get a mashed banana. They don't juice. Trust me, I tried.
You put a banana in a juicer.
Yeah, they don't juice.
Were you disappointed?
Well, no.
What was the
really.
byproduct? Was there any byproduct? Or was it all mush? It was all...
Nothing came through, really.
No?
Yeah.
Nothing came
But that's because I had the wrong type of juicer. I had the centrifugal juicer. if you've got
Is that what NASA use?
if you've got the one that presses down with the screw, right, the large screw that goes down, I would get a mashed banana out of it.
What did you get?
Well, nothing. I got an apple juice. Just only the apple juice. The banana kind of just.
You put a banana. No, I'm not even. I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there. I don't want to know.
Okay.
Right. So fruit. It's going to be fruit, right?
Yeah, fruit. I want to do the sourdough again because I killed the last one.
Sourdough bread. Bread
Yeah.
thing. Okay. Cool.
Sourdough
Making
bread thing.
Making bread.
Yeah.
How'd you make the bread?
With sourdough, which I killed.
How'd you make the dough?
From rye flour and water.
A dear, a female.
You just put.
Sorry.
All right there.
we heard it today, so I had to say that.
You put the water and the rye flour together and you let it ferment and then you use it for bread. It's
Water in rye flour. Slow process. Water in...
You take water, you mix it with rye flour, right?
Okay, so it's flour and water, basically.
Yeah, like a batter. You make a batter out of it, like a pancake.
Okay.
Right? Batter. And you let it ferment. And you feed it every day.
Overnight or over...
Over about a week.
A week,
It takes
sorry.
about a week, yeah. But you have to feed it every day. You have to feed it. Well, first you have to take a little bit out, right? So that there's not too much stuff. After you... Well, okay. Let me start again. Okay. You make a mixture.
Make it really easy for me.
Make a mixture, right?
Okay, step one.
Leave it overnight. Okay. And then you come back to it.
What is the mixture? The mixture is just the rye flour and the water.
Yeah. Then you come back to it and you say, "Hi, sourdough, I came to feed you." You put in more flour and more water, and you mix it, and you leave it overnight again.
So fresh flour and fresh water into the dough.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit more each day.
And it should start bubbling slowly, and it should start rising. And
Where'd you leave it?
You come the third. Well, you just leave it on the bench.
You leave it somewhere cold or warm, or room temperature.
Room temperature, or a little bit warmer than that. You know, you leave it in a. I leave it by.
You know when people say room temperature, I'm like, what the hell? What the hell?
Whose room?
Yeah, exactly. What the hell does that mean? Room temperature.
Okay. Not in Scotland. Okay. Room temperature in Scotland, that would not go. It would freeze.
Maybe a little layer of frost on top of it.
Just, the best place to leave it is in the kitchen next to the cooker, so that it's nice and warm. Okay. You come the third day. You say, "Hi, I came to feed you, but I see that there's a bit too much of you there already, so I'm going to take a little bit out." So you take a little bit out, you chuck it, and then you add in fresh flour, fresh water, mix it up.
So you're just throwing out some of it as it ferments?
Yes, yes.
Okay, you can't do anything with the stuff you're throwing out, you just have to throw it out.
Well, once it starts growing, right, you can use that little bit for example, you add it into a pancake batter in the morning and you make breakfast, and you can use that. But it wouldn't be strong enough to work for bread yet, right? So you have to do this for a week, and once it works quite predictably, okay.
This is your predictable bread.
Once it kind of doubles the size every day.
You need it in a bigger container, otherwise it's going to go everywhere, right? Cause it
Well,
has to be idiot-proof. Because I'm an idiot. So.
Yeah, you won't put it close to the edge. I mean, I did once, and it was all over the bench. Okay, so you need a container that's bigger than. About twice as big as the amount of mixture that you've got in. That's why you take some out every time you feed it. So because otherwise you would end up with more and more and more.
So you need a big container.
Like not huge, just the ordinary jar is enough, because you don't need a lot of the starter, right?
Luckily we're in a flat with lots of big containers. Hi, Kaka.
And yeah, that's how it works. And then you use it for bread, and then you have really, really nice bread.
Did I miss the part where you cook it? Where you bake it?
Would you like to know about the baking process?
Oh, so you have to explain it to me, because I don't.
Okay, so once you've got that.
Every time I go into the kitchen.
Yes.
I'm like I keep my distance from things.
Okay.
So that I'm not in your like personal space thing?
Once you've got the
I enjoy the smells.
once you've got the batter, liquidy batter
After a week,
running, after sometimes it takes 5 days, sometimes it takes a week.
you have to practice it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
It's not an exact science.
make another type of starter, which I call mortar because it's got the same
Mortar.
like a texture, like a
Mortar.
mortar.
You
Yeah.
use mortar bread.
Yeah.
You know what mortar is, right?
What you put between the bricks when you build
Yeah.
a house, right?
It's also a kind of explosion as well.
Yeah.
Yes, mortar explosions, what the army use.
Anyway, so
Hi.
you make
Give us a thumbs up, please. If you're there, give us a thumbs up. And you know how people go like and share? I don't care if people like or share or not, but I do care about the thumbs
like and
up.
share. I don't care. It's an interesting motto.
Like and share, I don't care. Yeah, well, it's nice when people
Like
share
and
stuff,
share.
but
Yes.
but it doesn't really, put food on
You're
the
okay.
table.
You're okay if they like you. They don't need to share.
Oh, okay, I get it. I get it. Like me, but there are limits, right? Borders, lines. You know what I'm talking about.
No.
No. Okay. Yes, I like you too. Anyway, mortar.
Yeah, you make the mortar. You take a bowl.
Does it look like mortar?
Yes. You take a
It looks
bowl.
like the same stuff that you use for bricks.
Yes.
Yeah.
You take a bowl. Third time. You put in flour, again rye flour, again water, okay. But you put in more flour so that it's like the same consistency like mortar, right?
So if you don't know what consistency mortar is, there's absolutely
You're
no way
screwed.
you cannot cook this bread. Okay.
You can. It has to be like a kasha, like mashed potatoes, or
Why
it
is it so
shouldn't run
complicated?
because it's a science.
Well, I know it's an art. Cooking is definitely an art.
Bread science. Anyway, and then you take a little bit of that starter that you made before, the liquidy stuff, and you put it into the mortar, just a little bit, like 2 spoonfuls, okay? And then you mix it up, and then
Oh
you
wait,
leave it.
wait a minute, I'm getting lost here. What's the starter thing? Where did the starter come from?
The starter is what we grew for 7 days. It's the liquidy battery stuff that fermented on
Something
our
wrong with
bench
me.
for
I'm
7
completely.
days.
Why did it get? What's that, Will?
Waiting for her butt to be wiped.
Sora's waiting for. Oh,
I think I need to go for a little bit. But you can finish telling them how to make bread.
I have no idea how to make bread. That's why I've got you now. I don't know, and I couldn't do it. I mean, I'd have to find out what mortar is first. I'd have to study building in order to make bread. That just Anyway, the thing about having 3 kids is that sometimes the young ones need help with visiting the little boys' room. So there you go. So we were talking about breakfast. If you're watching this, maybe you could let us know what kind of breakfast you give your kids. I mean, what do you think is a good breakfast for kids? So we got. That was fast.
Well, how long do you think butt wiping takes? How do you put this on?
Takes me quite a while. No,
It takes Will quite a while.
that's the right way. Okay.
I think that's it.
Oh, we've got to get to that in
I'm
the
getting
future
used
as
to
well. There's a future. There's a.
What, butt wiping?
Yeah, no, we don't want to talk about it today, but Will's thing
Oh!
with time. Okay, we're not going to talk about it here today because we've got other things to
So
talk
you're talking
about.
about bread. Right, so you've got a fresh bowl of mortar.
This is 15 minutes to make to explain how to make bread.
Listen, you've got a fresh bowl of mortar. Focus.
Fresh bowl of the rye
The rye with the water, right?
The rye flour and the water.
Yes.
You got
You've got the starter that was fermenting on the bench for 7 days. Okay.
right.
Take 2 spoonfuls of the liquidy, battery fermented starter. Put it into the mortar. Mix it up. And probably cover it with something.
Okay.
Leave it on the bench.
Okay.
Warm place.
Okay.
And in about 5, 6 or 7 hours,
Okay.
it should rise.
On the bench.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you do is
Not
you take
levitate. Just
no,
yeah,
just
just out of the
the
bowl.
mixture.
Yeah. Okay.
So what you have to do is you have to take a spoon, you have to see if it's got nice bubbles in it, and if you can see that it has risen quite well and it's got nice bubbles in it.
whoa.
Yes.
What's a nice bubble? What does that even mean?
Well, you would know when you see it. It's full of bubbles. It's like a sponge full of bubbles, okay? If you're not sure,
Nice bubbles.
listen, focus. If you're not sure, you can do the floating test.
I did ask you at the beginning if it levitates.
Well, you take a big bowl of water, okay? You take
Alright.
a spoonful of water
Okay.
and you plop it in the water. And if it floats, it's ready.
it's-
And if it
oh,
sinks,
I like
it's not
that kind
ready.
of thing. Okay, that's
Right?
that's
Because
the
if it
scientific part.
floats,
Okay.
it means that it's got enough air in it.
Ah,
Okay.
okay. That means nice bubbles.
Yes, nice bubbles.
I see,
how
that's
you
a
recognize
definition
the
rather
nice
than a
bubbles.
rather than a sort
So
of descriptive thing. Right.
when you've got nice bubbles in it after 5 or 6 or 7 hours, depending on how warm it is there,
After 5, 6, or 7 days, depending upon how long it takes.
you can take that water, right? You take 1 spoonful of it. You don't throw it in the water, but you throw it in a jar. And you close that jar, but not airtight. You just put a lid on, right? And you put the jar in the fridge. And this is what I always forget to do. And that's why I always kill my starter, right? Because you will need this little bit to make another mortar in 2 or 3 or 5 days or whenever you want to bake another bread, okay? So you put away a little bit of mortar, put it in the fridge for next time, and you took the rest of the mortar
Okay.
and you make a bread dough by adding more flour to it. And probably more water as well, because you want a big loaf, right?
So it actually takes you a week to make a loaf of bread.
Well, only at the beginning.
But then
Because
you've always got the
because you have
mortar
the little
mix.
bit in the jar that you can use for the next mortar. You don't have to go through getting it to
Yeah, but
ferment,
at
because
some
it's already
point,
fermenting.
at some point you're going to have to remake a starter thing.
Well, if you do what I did, which is forget to put some water in the fridge before baking bread.
Right.
Yeah,
Why
no.
is it so complicated?
Once in a few months, you should, you know, give your starter a boost by redoing the fermenting process.
I can see why people just go to the supermarket.
It's
buy the
not
bread,
complicated.
yeah.
Why once you've started, and you can get actually all our Slovak listeners
So listen,
can get
Slovak people don't speak English. What are you
their
talking
own
about?
starter that's already started. There is a website. Not sure what it's called, but
www.
brick building.
Motorchleeb.sk.
No, there is a website that has,
probably
or
the-
a map. I think that it's actually a map that has people that registered in there that have their own starters and that will share them. You know,
There's a map online of people who prepare their own starters for bread that you can
yes, the rye starters
get their
that
starter
can share
from
them. So if I can't make my own starter going, I can find the website. I can check out. Okay, in Bistrica there's this woman. I call her
Wow.
up. I say, can you share your starter with me? And she'll probably have something written on the website like, I'll gladly share my starter for 1 kilo of rye flour or something, you know. So
Okay.
barter,
Okay.
okay? So that's how it works.
Wow, that's really educational.
Yeah.
I didn't know that such things existed.
A world beyond your
Balcony.
knowledge.
So,
And balcony, yes.
I know nothing.
It's the
I
female
don't even know how
word.
to use it. I'm
Well.
sitting on my own cable here. Right. What did we get to? Well, that was the breakfast thing. I wanted people to share. I wanted people to write. Thank you for those who wrote things already. I wanted people to write what they give children for breakfast.
I'm sorry, I was a bit
Yeah, I don't know.
thirsty.
I think when you whack. I think when you. I'm not sure. I think when you. We have to listen back to. I think when you touch the mic, it still picks it up because it's super sensitive. Is something falling down?
No, I
somewhere?
think it was just a thing because I touched it with my foot. The what do you call it? Windowsill.
Right. Nice windowsill. Anyway,
Yes.
that's completely throwing me off topic now. And
Sorry.
I don't have a list
The
of things.
breakfast. Yes.
Yeah, I wanted people to share what they would give children for breakfast as a healthy breakfast. If you've got a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old, plus a little bit.
I think scrambled eggs are a good option, but Will doesn't like eggs, so that's a bit, you know.
Scrambled eggs, yeah. I like scrambled eggs. Well, it's not about if you like it, it's about whether it's healthy or not, right?
But then, there was a certain amount of convenience in giving them muesli, because they would get up and get in the kitchen, and they've got their bowls in that drawer they can reach.
They'd be all self-sufficient,
and
right,
they
with
can
the
just
muesli.
come and do it. They can't make their own scrambled eggs.
I'm not against them having muesli, but I am against them having muesli all the time.
Yeah, I know,
And I
absolutely.
am against it sort of becoming I don't want to eat lunch. Can I have muesli? I don't want to eat my dinner, or I'll just pretend that I'm not hungry when I get my dinner, and then later say, "Can I have a bowl of muesli?" I don't.
I
crazy.
absolutely agree.
But when I think about when I was a kid, I used to live on Alpen, which is bad muesli, right?
Yeah.
Because it's got stuff in it.
That bad. You can
Well, it's the best of the worst.
You can get the clean Alpen now with no sugar and without anything, which is
Yeah.
really just like what I do.
I used to have Alpen for breakfast. I used to come home from school and used to have Alpen when I came home from school, and then I used to have Alpen in the evening as well. And I just lived on Alpen. I didn't eat anything at school because the school food was so bad, and I was so busy that I didn't have time to eat anyway. And I want my kids not to make the same mistakes.
That wasn't too bad, I lived on hot alki.
That's wafer, chocolate, peanut, biscuit.
Uh-huh. Yeah, those were the
But
days.
they are nice.
Kind of addictive as well.
Addictive. They are addictive. Yes.
Yeah.
There's probably a centre for hierarchy addiction. Can't say it. One of my, what was I supposed to say? Friends, clients, customers, clients.
You could say fliants.
One of my
As in
clients.
friend and a
One of my
customer.
clients told me a story about hierarchy that was the reason why they got married. Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. No, I can't tell you who, because that would be
the client. Okay.
breaking the
Yes, of course. The
teacher-client privilege thing,
yes,
right?
The,
Right, but they were saying that
what do you call it? The thing when you can't speak. Non-something.
dumbfounded, dumbstruck, dumb.
No. It's like what the
What? Describe it. If you can't say what it is, describe it.
But what's the word for non-disclosure? The disclosure and non-disclosure. That's the word.
But that's a contract agreement. And we
Disclosure.
don't have those. We don't have it written down because I don't feel.
Yes,
the
but
need
you can
to-
use the word. You can say that would mean that I'm disclosing personal information, right?
It would.
There you go.
I am disclosing personal information. The thing is that nobody knows who I'm talking about, so it's
Yes.
theoretically okay when I do that.
Theoretically,
So
they got married because of Horalki.
yeah, that's how they got together with their partner. They said that they loved Horalki, and it was a she, and she loved Horalki, and I had no other way to express it, right? So she loved Horalki, and there was a guy in the room, and the guy said, "Do you want a piece of my Horalki?" And that was it. She said that was it. She just fell in love at that point in time. Obviously, there was a bit more to it than that, but there's got to be a spark before there's a fire, right?
Right.
So that was
the spark
that was
flew
the
with
spark.
Horalka.
Yeah. So Horalki. It starts with Horalki, and it,
Ends up with a happily ever after.
yeah, the rest is history, as they say. Right. Anyway, Horalki would not be a good breakfast. So what else would be a healthy breakfast? I think the mangoes. We had mangoes once. You bought mangoes. I never really
Yes,
nice.
but they're quite. I keep looking at them in Bila and they're horrible. I mean, it's an
It's
exception.
probably expensive as well.
To get a nice mango is an exception, really.
Shouldn't you rather buy food that's local, right?
You should, because even the nice mangoes in Bila are probably
Yeah.
considered rubbish and where they pick them.
We talked about the fact that bananas go into storage, right? Bananas go into storage for 6 months to 2 years when they're in transit. Do you know about that?
No.
We didn't talk about that.
No.
I was watching
2 years? How can a banana survive for 2 years? Is that even possible?
Well, I was. You'll find websites where it states 6 months, right? And that's the average. And the food. I was watching a documentary, and it's like, yeah, we store the bananas in here for up to 6 months, and I was like, 6 months? Oh my god! And I was talking about it with another client, someone who knows more about this than me, and they started laughing. Right, this person, director of a company, kind of responsible person. So I was like, why are you laughing? And he said 6 months. I was like, yeah, no, really, 6 months. He's like, 6 months, more like 2 years. And he started to tell me the story about his friend who works in that industry, who says they store the bananas for up to 2 years. So the banana gets picked, it gets shipped,
yeah,
and it arrives in the country where it's supposed to go, like here in Slovakia, and they've got these big cold warehouses. Mm-hmm. I've been in one of those actually once. God knows how that happened. Anyway, wow, how did that happen? Yeah, I've been in one of those cold storage places where they store everything, and the bananas they're in there for like up to 2 years. And then so you see the banana in the supermarket, right? You go and buy it, and you think, oh, it's maybe a 1 week old, or 2 weeks old, or 3 weeks old, or something like that.
Like 2 years old.
It's 2 years old.
It's horrible. Ugh.
Something wrong with that, isn't there? Something seriously wrong with that.
Yeah, you should buy local and seasonal, absolutely.
Chris, how's your chair? Are you okay sitting there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
A bit.
Yeah.
It's because I'm
slouching.
Because I'm all bone.
Mr. Bones.
What's that from?
I don't know. It sounds like a name of a skeleton, probably.
No, it's definitely from some TV series or something, or some comedy thing.
I have no idea.
It's very funny.
Probably is.
Oh, you obviously just didn't make it up like that, right?
I don't know.
Mr. Bones.
I don't know. There are things in my head, and I'm not sure whether I made them up or whether they really happened.
No shit. Okay. Really? There's another conversation topic. Things in my head. Not sure if they happened or not.
Yeah.
Right. I think we've done enough for today. Actually, I've got other things that I want to talk about, but
there was the breakfast. I just wanted to say that in the winter it's a good idea to have like soup for breakfast. For
soup.
Yeah, you can have soup for breakfast.
What kind of soup?
Nice
I've never in my life had
vegetable
soup for breakfast.
I've heard it's really nice. I didn't try it, but I imagine when you wake up in the morning and you look outside and it's raining and you've got a nice hot bowl of soup steaming on the table, you'd be like, yes.
You'd be like, who's broken into my kitchen and made soup?
For me. Well, that's what I would be like.
Who's been eating from my bowl?
You would be like, huh? Okay. You'd eat it, and then you would tell me in 2 hours how you had a dream about eating soup.
No, that would be Will. But no, I don't think I would eat. I never had soup for breakfast. But I'm just thinking about all the rubbish. I was just thinking about the Alpens, the rubbish stuff that I used to eat when I was younger, and there's a problem with my memory today. Soup, right?
Soup, yeah. You can have fruit. You can have soup. You can have oatmeal.
No. It's a soup thing. I used to make lunch for myself, and I used to have those instant soups that I thought were okay. My parents would buy them and would say, "Oh, just make some soup for yourself with this little packet," right? And that would be my lunch.
We used to eat them when we went camping.
Eat them.
Well, obviously, first you cook the soup and then you eat it.
Oh, okay.
Not like out of a baggie.
Or snorting it or something would be probably pretty dangerous. Anyway, and that's just all chemicals. Right? How could I'm angry at my parents for thinking that was a healthy lunch for me.
Well, it's silly to be angry about it.
Anger issues, is that another topic we have to discuss in the future?
It's silly to be angry about it because, first of all, your anger won't change anything.
Second of all, my daily email was about anger.
Second of all,
yesterday. And so
your daily email was about anger, which I don't know.
You should read it. It's got really.
I probably.
I should read it.
How is it possible that I haven't read it then? Because I always check your daily emails for you. I must have read it.
Wait a minute. You always check.
I must have read it.
Now who's got a memory problem?
You
read the email and checked it, and it was about how to deal with losing control. It's how to deal with losing your temper, the 5 strategies. Look, it's here. It's over here.
Yeah, I would probably recognize it if you showed it to me.
She said.
I must have been good. Check his daily email.
Yes,
I'm sure it was good. I don't
it's posted on my
remember it,
Facebook
but-
page. You can go scroll back through my Facebook page, and I don't know where to
Anyhow,
look.
the point is, it's silly to be angry about it, because first of all, your anger won't change anything, because it happened long ago in the past. Second of all, when they gave it to you, they didn't do it because they wanted to poison you, but they did it because they thought it was okay. They probably thought it was okay because they didn't have enough
They did it because it was
information.
convenient. Oh wow! Look, that's us
Oh, I can see us
Live on
there,
the-
and I can
live-
see us there.
live on the balcony. Look at that! Wow!
Nice.
Right, it's working. It's working.
Yes.
Right.
Anyway,
Like there's videos from the go back through the Facebook page and you see the pool today. That was really nice earlier today.
anyhow.
There it is. Look, how do you deal with those difficult days?
Okay. I want to make my
Right.
point, because you keep interrupting me.
I've noticed that I keep doing that.
Don't be angry with your parents.
Look at that. I click on the email and it's a blank screen. It's been erased from history. Seriously.
Maybe that's why I don't remember it.
It was called Please Let Go Now. Because it had a weird title.
Can I read it?
All emotions are
Oh, okay,
gifts that
yeah.
move us through personal
Okay,
barriers.
I remember that now. Yes.
I was going to
yes.
do presentations where I just read the email, but then I thought
That would be boring.
that would be boring.
That would be boring because people usually can read, and if they're interested, they'll read it.
Yeah, although I learn by listening, so I'm the auditory learner. Is that what they call it?
I think so. Yes.
Right. I like to I go around with the headphones on all the time and I'm listening to as much info as I can. But like strategies, if you go to the Facebook page, you scroll down, you click on Please Let Go Now, the free email, then you get the Daily Mail about strategies for dealing with negative emotional states.
That was actually very good. Now that I remember it.
Yeah, it was so good. You read it yesterday, completely forgot.
No, I actually thought it was very good, and I thought that I might learn something from this, and then use it to help my future possible maybe clients once I have some.
Well, why do you think I'm writing all this material? I'm writing all the material so
For
I can
me.
it's all for you. I'm writing it so I can build up resources.
Good.
So that there are sources that I can go back to, and I use it with my clients as well. They use it with themselves. Sometimes my clients send it to other people.
Good.
It's very
Yes,
nice.
I think this email is extremely important in parenting, or
Yeah.
well, these strategies that you've got there.
It's funny that you should say that because there's a parenting background to everything that's written there. I mean, it's supposed to be written in the professional way, so that it's for like professionals and workers and business and things and how to deal with colleagues. But the undercurrent is interfamily relationships and parents to children. But it's not in there. But you read that into it, so
Yes, yes.
that's
You can
that's
apply
good.
that definitely to parenting and to help you avoid those shouting
You know what's funny? I
matches.
wrote this yesterday. Oh, it's not funny.
This
It's
is
kind
really
of
getting on
bad.
my nerves, this cable.
It does. They do get. It doesn't. You just have to get used to it, or
Can I sit on it?
That's what I ended up doing.
I'm
but
going
it's-
to sit on it. There we go. That's better.
Right, it doesn't.
Can everybody hear me?
God, the voice, do the accent, the King Julian accent.
I think we should finish.
Love.
I think this is too long now.
It is. What's the King? I've got to do the King Julian accent. I can't do it now. It's the gay voice, isn't it?
No, it's
Does everybody like me? No.
It's not gay voice, you idiot. That's
Is
an
it?
Indian accent.
Oh, sorry. Well, I don't know. They're gay Indians, right? There are Indians who are gay. I mean, there must be
Most
somewhere.
probably.
Right. Probably in probably London. Right. That's where London. That's where they all go. Anyway, yes. What's crazy about this is that I wrote this and I thought it was good and I enjoyed writing it, and then I published it. And if you ask me today to repeat what I wrote yesterday, it's the same. It's just, I know I wrote something, but I couldn't remember the points. I can't, unless I see it, I can't actually, unless I've got it in my hands, I can't actually
You know,
repeat.
when I went to university, the pedagogical university, we had this old guy, which was really cool, really old, but really good. He taught us.
Was he a teacher? Was he? He
Yeah.
was just hanging around in the university.
No, he was a lecturer. He taught us psychology, right?
Okay.
And he said there's a thing that is that is normal for creative people, that sometimes you create something and you forget completely about it, like completely. He said he wrote a book, right? And he forgot that he wrote it.
And it wasn't just
And
because he
he-
was old.
No.
No.
That was when he was young. And then, like, 10 years later,
Total Music's in the house.
hey!
Total Music's in the house. Give us the thumbs up, mate.
And then he would come back to it like 5 years later, and he would look at it and it was like, oh, this is a good book. And then he would go like, oh, wait a minute, I wrote it. And he couldn't remember anything of it. And he was not on drugs.
Problem with the human state. We've got to get into that as well. Problem with the human state, memory. I do that. I do a lot of work on that with my students, because most of what I'm doing with my clients is repeating the same stuff again and again and again, because they forget, and they come to me because they learned it before and they forgot it.
Yeah.
And they don't. It's not English that they need help with. It's not life skills that they need help with. It's memory that they need.
Do
help
you
with.
know why you forget things that you learn at school? You probably do.
Well, if I did know it, I've forgotten it.
Because at school, the things that you teach in your head
Yeah.
are attached to the emotion. And the emotion at school
Is
generally
anger.
is stress, right? You're completely stressed, the emotions are negative, and human brain works
Good students usually are.
by the human brain. One of its functions is that it forgets the traumatic experience, and therefore it forgets all the information that were attached to the traumatic experience.
Oh wow! See, I never thought about it like that before.
That is why when you teach, it has to be happy.
So why don't
So
they
that people
just
remember
give
it.
everybody drugs then, and they'd all be happy.
Oh, but they do.
But then they'd forget everything. 'Cause it'd be like alcohol, right? I mean, you wouldn't remember like what anybody said, or I had a great night last night. I just can't remember anything that happened.
They do that in America, though. They do give kids drugs.
25% of the children are on some kind of psychotropic drug basis.
Psycho something drug.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. I know.
They're way out of control. The adults are more out of control than the kids, because it's
Yes.
them giving the drugs to the kids anyway. So that's
For being normal,
ridiculous.
basically.
Anyway, the daily email. I mean, that's what I want people to do. I want people to subscribe to the free mail, which is on my. Hey, check that out, right?
What?
And okay, right.
Did it
Oh,
just
no,
disappear?
Yeah, I was just seeing the screen there, right? And it came up with a timer.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it just says live, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes there's a timer on it that tells you how long you've been on, and then sometimes it tells you how many people are watching. But there's it
Does it give you like
it jumps around, and
20 minutes? Finish now. People are getting annoyed. 30 minutes. You're dead. Or something like that.
Probably in the future they'll have the AI in there that'll be like, you've the suggestions like, why don't you do this? Why don't you talk about that? Why don't you mention these key words in your conversation?
You're not smiling enough.
More adverbs.
Adverbs are for losers.
Actually, adverbs are for public speakers. Those are the key attention words. And
Yeah?
yeah, when you're public speaking, it's the adverbs that click people back into to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Actually, so let's just say that.
You're all a
Recent-
wonderfully audience.
No, you have to use them grammatically correctly.
But that would get an attention.
It would, but the wrong kind of attention.
I think something's happening over there in the living room now.
Yeah, the
I think Jasmine got caught in the fishnet.
bed out of the hanging chair, maybe. Oh, there. Oh, bit of. Oh.
Someone's getting frustrated.
I think it might be time to finish now before war. There's more. Okay,
There's
good.
more.
You go. Say
Okay.
bye. Say bye, and
Bye.
I'll
Thank
finish
you.
the recording.
I'm going to
We'll be back again
pacify
with
the
another
children.
recording.
Got stuck to the chair.
Until end of live video.
Bye.
Oh, it's only letting us do it for 1 hour.
Yeah?
Bye.
Bye. Thankfully, it's
Look,
only
it
letting
says-
us do it for 1 hour.
Look, it says
I
It
don't know.
says